Okay.
Wow, thank you guys. You're not, I think I noticed that you're not asking for an S pattern. You're not standing to ask for the test curl anymore.
We're
No
not
test
asking
curl.
for a test curl, no, not at all.
Any further questions? Hair cutting or chemical wave? No,
We are
there.
the, I'm sorry. We are the ones that are pulling the rods out. We're just asking them to demonstrate the solution. We don't ask them to touch the rods at all. We will look at it.
Yes, we will take one down. Okay, we're moving right on then.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be over your hair color retouch portion of your exam. This will be performed in the right front section. The verbal instructions are as follows. You will now perform the hair color retouch portion of this exam. The head will be divided into 4 equal quadrants. In the right front section of the head, you will apply a 1-inch hair color retouch. This procedure is 10 minutes, and you will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. I think it's good to note at this time, too, that those mannequins need to be all one color, okay? They can't be highlighted or colored in different quadrants. The task lines for hair color retouch are all color product supplies labeled in English. Implements tools are visibly clean. Applies chemical draping, towel, cape, towel. Divides hair into 4 equal quadrants. They will get a no for this if that mannequin is colored in different sections for this task line. Applies barrier cream around hairline. We need to see the barrier cream up to the hairline, but not in the hairline. We also don't want to see that barrier cream all the way down to the eyebrows. Wears gloves while applying simulated color product. Oh, and also, there needs to be a clear distinction between the barrier cream and the simulated color product, okay? So if they use a product like cholesterol, it needs to be 2 different colors. We just need to know where one starts and one begins. Outlines quadrant with simulated color product. They need to outline that quadrant with the simulated color product, not the barrier cream. Apply simulated color product from scalp out to 1 inch. Apply simulated color product using a 1/4 inch partings. Simulated color product applied to completely cover subsections. Skin is free of simulated color product. Maintains neck protection and drape throughout procedure. Disposes of soiled material. Follows all infection control guidelines. And maintains work area in a safe manner. Does anyone have any questions about the hair color retouch?
Can you specifically tell us what barrier cream you want us to use?
It could be Vaseline, it can be cholesterol, but if you're using cholesterol and you're using cholesterol in the hair also, make sure the barrier cream is different. We've had people use toothpaste, which works very, very, very well because it stays and we can actually see it. The black gel kind of dries up and then we can't see it, so they can use it, but they may have to reapply it.
When we're chemical draping, if it doesn't get soiled with the procedure ahead of time, do they still have to re-chemical drape for each procedure?
No, they do not have to reapply the draping as long as it is clean, but if it is soiled, they do have to change that out.
When you say the right front section, if the dowel is in front of me, it's to my right here?
Right front section.
But I'm saying if I'm standing
Yes,
behind.
your right hand. Samples, there's one down here.
Are they allowed to use a towel around the neck to wipe their hands on? The one that's around the mannequin's neck?
If they use that to wipe their hands off and they don't change it out, they'll be marked off for maintains draping. So that draping has to remain clean. If they need to wipe their hands, they can use a paper towel and dispose of that paper towel.
When you said the mannequins have to be all one color, if it's equally frosted or colored throughout, that's not acceptable?
No, we do not want any colored mannequin hair anymore. You may color your mannequin one color. We don't care what color you color it, but it has to be one color. We have had students come in with different quadrants of the hair color, and that's kind of aiding and helping them part off in their quadrants. So if you want your students to come in with a colored mannequin, it needs to be one colored hair mannequin. No highlights, no different color quadrants, no color up here, and then there's black color in the back. One color.
I have a question on the drape. I understand if the towel gets wet or cholesterol on it, we need to change that. But if they would happen to drip cholesterol on the drape, can they wipe that off with a paper towel, or do you want a whole new cape on?
Yes, they can wipe the cape off, but for that towel, it has to be removed if it's on the towel. The cape, they can spray it and wipe that off.
Do you take off if the sections are not equal?
Yes, we do. That is a task line that has to be divided into 4 equal quadrants, so we do.
Are there any other questions? Can't see. Okay, we're going to move on. The next procedure is the foil highlighting. This will be in the right back section. The verbal instructions are as follows. You will now perform the virgin highlight portion of this exam. In the right back section of the head, you will place 4 foil packets from the top of the ear to the hairline. This procedure is 10 minutes, and you will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. The task lines are: all color products, supplies labeled in English. Implements, tools are visibly clean. Applies chemical draping, towel, cape, towel. Applies barrier cream around the hairline. Wears gloves while applying simulated color product. Creates horizontal partings. Divides horizontal partings using a zigzag motion. To get a yes for this task line and the next, we need to see that traditional zigzag. A lot of students slice it. We need to actually see that zigzag. Properly positions foil underneath zigzag parting. Applies simulated color product from edge of foil to hair ends. Applies simulated product to foiled hair only. Foil is folded to cover simulated product. Simulated color product applied to completely cover hair inside foil. Scalp and skin are free of simulated color product. Maintains neck protection and drape throughout the procedure. Disposes of soiled materials. Follows all infection control guidelines. And maintains work area in a safe manner. Are there any questions about the foil highlighting?
Hi. For your barrier cream, do you want us to do it all at once for all sections, or do you want us to do it for each section?
That is up to you, however you want to teach them. If you want them to do the whole head and then not have to worry about the rest of the time, that's fine. Or if you just want them to do it per section, it's however you teach it.
With the section in the back, does it take up the whole quadrant as I'm zigzagging it across? Do you want me to take it all the way across? Or can I take it 3/4 of the way per subsection foiling?
In that quadrant, you can have them to put their 4 packets anywhere at the top, middle, or the bottom.
No, I'm saying like, when I do foiling, I section the hair off into 3 quadrants in the back, and then I put the foil in. They're only doing 4 sections, and we have to put the foiling in that one section. Do you want it to come all the way across?
In that section?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do what? Okay, I just want to make a clarification on the foil highlight portion. We removed barrier cream in this procedure, okay? So it is up here, but in your packet, it is not on there. So in this foil highlight procedure, you do not have to apply barrier cream.
And we can use the same brush that we used for the hair color retouch for the foil highlighting.
Yes.
On the foil highlighting, if the foils are to go completely across the section, and it requires 2 foils to do that, does that count as 2 foils? So you might just have 2 rows of 2 foils?
Not necessarily, you don't need 2, but if you want to put 2 in there, that's fine. We've had students do that, but you can do it without doing 2 section of foils.
But if they get nervous, or they have the section that they've already gotten counted off because their sections aren't equal, and that one's a little wider than what they anticipated, and they need 2 foils to get all the way across, is that 2 foils or is that 1?
Either or. Yeah, it's going down anyway.
Down, that answers it. And if they do the barrier cream around the color retouch all the way around the head, they're not gonna get marked off for the foils if they have barrier cream there. Too
No.
much is still okay.
They're not going to get marked off.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they use the same tint brush for color and the highlighting. They have to wipe that brush off and or
While they're doing the procedure, they can continue to use that same brush going from the retouch to the foil highlights. They do not have to wipe that off. When they are done though with that foil highlighting procedure, they do need to dispose of that brush because when you move on to the relaxer, they'll need to pull out a brand new brush for that.
Can they slice first and then zigzag that parting?
When we're
Yes.
grading, they have to do a zigzag parting, but yes, they need to have hair in between the foil packets. They can slice a piece of hair and then zigzag a parting out. Yes.
Last time we were there, y'all wanted a neutral panel in between each foil. Do you still want that neutral panel?
There has to be a subsection
Subsection
of hair
of
between each foil.
Right,
Yes,
right. I just wanted to clarify that.
yes.
On the new TIP, it has top of the ear to the hairline for the hair design one, but on the cosmetology, it doesn't. So is it the same on both?
Yes, the cosmetology and the hair design instructions and procedures are the same.
I just wanted to clarify. Before I heard that there was no neutral part, that we do not do a neutral part, that they have to show you like the zigzag period. You know, there always has to be hair in between the weaving, but no solid line, neutral part, and then a zigzag. They have to show you that zigzag, place the foil under it and do it. That's correct?
Yeah, it has to go zigzag parting, foil,
Zigzag parting.
and then you have to have a subsection of hair, and then a zigzag parting, foil, and then a subsection of hair. So you have to have hair in between each foil. Yeah. Yes, it has to be a complete size.
For the product that we use, can we have one container that is labeled simulated mock chemical product and keep that out in between the color services and to the relaxer without being covered?
It has to say color relaxer. It can't just say simulated product.
Okay, just color on one side, relaxer on the other, flip the bowl?
That's fine, yes.
Now, does the lid have to be reapplied in between?
If it's not in use, it should be applied. Once they're finished, they can put the lid on.
Ms. Pearson, there's
Down
one
front.
down in the front.
Now, it used to be that you had to have it on different sides, color on one side, relaxer on the other. You had to switch it. The last time, you guys said it could be color and relaxer on the same side as long as it says it. It's good. Is that correct?
Yeah, as long as we see color relaxer, as long as it just doesn't say simulated product, because that's not telling us what that is.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing really has changed as far as the labeling.
Are there any other questions? Okay, we're gonna move on. Thank you.
Good morning. Okay, I'm going to go over the relaxer retouch. This is 10 minutes, and your verbal instructions are as follows. You will now perform the relaxer retouch portion of this exam. In the left back section of the head, you will apply a 1-inch relaxer retouch. This procedure is 10 minutes, and we'll let you be aware when there is 5 minutes remaining. Okay, the relaxer retouch. All relaxer retouch products and supplies are labeled in English. Your implements are visibly clean. Applies the chemical draping of the towel cape towel. Applies a barrier cream to the hairline. Also, in this section, they do not have to base this quadrant. This is not a task line. We do not grade on this, and it takes up a lot of time. They still need to put the protective cream around the hairline itself, but they do not have to base. Subsections hair using 1/4 inch partings. Applies your simulated relaxer product 1/4 inch from the scalp out to 1 inch. Completely covers the subsection with the simulated relaxer product. The scalp and skin are free of the simulated relaxer product. Maintains neck protection and drape throughout the procedure. Disposes of soiled materials. Follows all infection control guidelines. Maintains work area in a safe manner. Do I have any questions about the relaxer retouch portion of the exam? Not one question? Aha, down front.
Oh, never mind, that's a virgin. I was gonna ask about smoothing, but that's,
Yeah, we haven't gotten over the virgin yet.
I just want to double check. In years past, for the barrier cream, there was gel, toothpaste, and then last year you allowed Vaseline again. Vaseline is permitted, correct?
It is permitted. Whatever you want to teach with is fine. Just make sure that you teach them. If it starts to dry out, they need to reapply. We grade on what we can see, okay? Vaseline is used a lot, actually. It doesn't dry out as easily. We have a question. Ms. Pearson down in front here.
I don't don't have a question, but we use the little travel size toothpaste and have it marked protective cream, and it works out tremendous.
Yes, it does. Any other questions about the relaxer retouch before we move on? Okay, this is going to be your chemical virgin relaxer. This is done in the left front section, and this is also 10 minutes. The verbal instructions are as follows. You will now perform the virgin relaxer portion of this exam. In the left front section of the head, you will apply a virgin relaxer application. You will be instructed by an examiner to demonstrate smoothing. This procedure is 10 minutes, and you will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining in this procedure. The task lines are as follows. All virgin relaxer products and supplies are labeled in English. Your implements and tools are visibly clean. Applies the chemical draping of the towel cape towel. Applies your barrier cream to the hairline. Wears gloves while applying simulated relaxer product. The subsection's hair using 1/4 inch partings. Applies a simulated relaxer product 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch from the scalp. Applies the simulated relaxer product to subsection, leaving 1 inch of hair on the ends uncovered. Completely covers the subsection with simulated relaxer product. The scalp and skin are free of simulated relaxer product. And then the demonstration demonstrates smoothing from the scalp to the ends. Maintains neck protection and drape throughout the procedure, disposes of soiled materials, follows all infection control guidelines, and maintains work area in a safe manner. Are there any questions about the chemical virgin relaxer? We have one over here. Hold on, wait till she comes around with the microphone so everybody can hear.
With the virgin relaxer, this is the only one where you're doing the smoothing. You didn't do the smoothing and the touch-up?
That is correct. This is
Now-
the section that we want to see them demonstrate the smoothing, and they do not demonstrate it until we have gone up to them and observed and then tell them to go ahead and
You give them the
demonstrate.
instructions. Do
We
you
sure do.
want them to, when you give them the instructions, to smooth outline first and then subsection?
They need to do just one subsection, okay? They can put it anywhere where they want to. If they want to start at the bottom or if they want to start at the top is fine.
No, I'm asking, do you want them to outline that subsection, or do you want?
For the smoothing?
Right.
Yes.
Prior to then going to the subsection to smooth?
That is correct. And then, like I said, only need to see one.
Okay.
Yes.
Forgive me if my question is redundant, but on the virgin relaxer, what are the verbal instructions given?
What?
Or at the time when you want the student to start to demonstrate?
We read the verbal instructions, okay, right before in every single section. We give them verbal instructions. We read it twice and then ask them if they have any questions. If they don't, we'll go ahead and tell them to begin. So when we say begin in this particular portion, which is the chemical virgin relaxer, they go ahead and they perform the relaxer. They don't do anything with the smoothing yet. Then we'll go up to them when they're all finished. We'll observe and look for a few things, and then we'll have them demonstrate the smoothing at that time.
Okay, so there are no verbal cues given at the time that you come up to the student, correct?
Oh, for smoothing, yeah, we walk up to them and ask them to go ahead and smooth when we have observed what we were needing to look for in the task lines.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No, it's me.
Any other questions? We have one over here.
Want them to use the back of the comb, or can they use the brush, or is there any specifics on?
However you want to teach it, we do not grade on technique. Okay? Just make sure, though, that when they are demonstrating the smoothing, if they have enough product that they can go ahead and smooth it down and reapply up to the scalp and reapply to the ends, they can do that. If they do not, they can go back and reapply to that, up to the scalp area, reapply to the ends, and then smooth it, okay? Now, also, They can use, I saw you put your fingers up like that. If that's how you want to teach them, they can go ahead and demonstrate the smoothing. Sorry, guys. Smoothing like this because you're getting both sides of the hair shaft. If you do decide to teach using the back of a comb, they have to make sure that they smooth it all the way down, holding that tension. And then they have to flip that and then smooth on the other side of that hair shaft. We do not grade on technique. Any other questions?
My question is, they have to wear gloves on all 4 of these procedures. Do they need 4 sets of gloves?
No, they do not. Now, let me take that back. If they're wearing gloves for the color and then the foil highlights, okay, then that's fine. Then they can change those out and then put the gloves on for both the relaxer procedure, just like the brushes, how they need to change those out. We have a question down in front. Well, middle.
You mentioned earlier that when students wear gloves, they have to re-sanitize their hands after they take the gloves off. Why is that?
Are you talking about for the setup procedure?
I'm talking, I was under the understanding when they wore gloves.
Yeah, they were talking, that was in the setup procedure. Some of the instructors have their students put gloves on during the setup procedure, okay? But then as soon as they do dispose of those gloves, they do need to re-sanitize their hands because they're going to be going back into their station with those gloves off.
Just at the beginning only.
That was just mentioned through the setup procedure.
Just now you mentioned about wearing gloves for the color and then the relaxer.
Mm-hmm.
So we're to assume they're 2 different heads and they can't wear the same pair of gloves, and you suggest
Just
they
like those
change?
brushes, you're working with 2 separate products. You're working with the color product, you're working with the relaxer product, just like those brushes. So you should go ahead then and have them switch out their gloves. Are there any other questions? One more down in front.
Just double checking, on this, you do not have to outline the quadrant.
That is correct. That is correct. Any other questions before moving on?
Okay, facial and manicure setup. The verbal instructions are as follows. Following all infection control and safety guidelines, you will set up all the supplies that will be used for the facial and manicure portions of your exam and perform client protection. You will have 15 minutes for this procedure, and you'll be informed when you have 10 and 5 minutes remaining. Facial manicure setup, this is 15 minutes. First, they'll disinfect their work area, dispose of all soil materials, sanitize hands, applies hair protection. All sanitizers and disinfectants display manufacturer's label in English, follows all infection control guidelines, maintains work area in a safe manner. Cleansing facial manicure cleansing facial massage. The cleansing is 5 minutes. The verbal instructions are as follows. You will now perform the cleansing massage portion of this exam. As a group, you will have 5 minutes to cleanse the face and then remove the cleanser. Once completed, an examiner will evaluate your cleansing. Once evaluated, your examiner will instruct you to apply your massage cream and then wait for further instructions. You'll be instructed to demonstrate the massage manipulations of effleurage, petrissage, tapotement, and friction. Once you've been evaluated, you'll be instructed to remove your massage cream and finish your procedure. Facial cleansing and massage. The cleansing, all cleansing massage products, supplies labeled in English. Implements, tools are visibly clean. Sanitizes hands. Remove cleansing product using infection control guidelines. So again, they can use the squirt bottle. Don't touch the skin, and they can go back and forth from their hand. They cannot use cleansing cloths for this part. Okay, we want to see them how they remove the product from the container, okay? Cleanses lips from corner to center. Now they can use cleansing cloths for the lips and the eyes, okay? So they have to use some sort of paper product, whether it's tissue, cotton, or a cleansing cloth. But to remove the cleansing cream, we want to see that, we want to see the student remove the product from the container. Properly cleanses eyes. Properly cleanses entire face without getting it in the eyes, nose, or mouth. Removes cleanser from face without dragging or pulling the skin. All remaining makeup and cleanser is removed from face, so they can use a cleansing cloth to remove the cleanser if they choose to. The massage removes massage product using infection control guidelines. Properly applies massage product to the face. Facial cleansing massage demonstrates effleurage. Demonstrates petrissage. Demonstrates tapotement and friction. Removes massage product without dragging or pulling the skin. All massage product is removed from the face. Properly applies toner, so they can either put that on, cotton, tissue, and apply it, or if they use a spray toner, they need to shield the eyes. Maintains hair protection throughout procedure, so if the draping falls off, they need to reapply it. Disposes of soiled materials. Follows all infection control guidelines, and maintains work area in a safe manner. Are there any questions regarding cleansing and massage?
Is the draping still towel, cape towel, or can you use neck strip towel?
For the facial, you are only required to do a head drape. You don't have to do any body drape.
Okay, that's new. Okay.
So a head drape is only required for the facial.
On the petrissage movement, it has to be the pinching movement and not the deep tissue rub.
Right, we have to see a pinching movement. And there's different techniques for that, but as long as they're doing the pinching motion. Mm-hmm. There's one down here, Ms. Pearson. Sue.
On the friction movement, which one do you prefer to see? Because there's several different frictions.
Well, we're not grading on technique again, but they can, when they do it on the forehead, a lot of times they're gliding across. They actually have to cause friction. So if they do the circular movements, if they do the friction across the forehead, they just cannot be gliding. They can do circular motions on the cheeks. Mm-hmm. It's not saying exactly where you have to do the movement, so yeah, that's fine.
Okay, can you still use the Q-tips to clean the lips?
Yeah, any cotton product, you can use tissue, cotton, Q-tips to cleanse, yes. Are there any other questions regarding the cleansing and massage portion of the exam?
On the head drape, do you need a towel underneath a shower cap? Do you mind?
They can have a shower cap. They can have the headband. As long as the hair is secured, it says, is there a head drape? Yes or no. So,
How do you want the cleansing cream and the massage cream removed from the eyes? Do you want it from the corrugator coming underneath and then coming back up? Is there any particular way that you want those creams removed around the eyes? I heard the lips.
as long as you're doing it safely and it's not getting in the eyes, again, that's technique. We're just making sure you're removing it safely.
Just to clarify with the facial portion,
Now that we've gone back to cleansing cream on the face, it is okay to use the cleansing cream on the lip and the eye as well?
Sure.
Or do you prefer to see a different method of the cleansing on the lip and the eye?
In the book, it's stating that they have to use some sort of paper product, whether it's tissue, cotton. So if they want to put cleansing cream on a Q-tip, on cotton, or even use a cleansing cloth on the eyes and lips, that's okay.
Question came up, I believe it was last year, regarding the type of mannequin that we use when we cleanse the eyes. I believe there was some mannequins that had their eyes closed, and there was some with their eyes open. So when they clean or cleanse the eyes, if the eyes are open, then you just want below the brow to show the cleansing there?
They have to cleanse around the whole eye, but if your mannequin's eyes are open, they have to
act as though they're open.
If they're shut, they work as if they're shut. Any other questions about cleansing or massage?
Not about cleansing, but could you use like a perm bag like as a shower cap, or does it have to be a shower cap?
It just has to be a head drape. As long as
And
the
can
hair,
I clip up the hair, like if it's really long, so it's not like dragging down? Is it okay to clip it and then put the bag over top?
yes, you can clip the hair up.
Okay, so if our mannequin's eyes are painted on and we wanted to just remove them on the facial mannequin, would they be assumed to be closed?
Never had that question before. They're still open eyes because the mannequin's eyes are literally closed. You can tell that the mannequin. No, that would be considered they would be open. Any other questions regarding the cleansing or massage portion? Okay, we're going to move on. Basic manicure. Verbal instructions are as follows. You will now perform the basic manicure portion of this exam. You will perform a complete manicure, including the polish. Upon completion of this procedure, please turn the mannequin hand towards the front, and that will indicate to us that you are finished. You will have 20 minutes, and you'll be informed when you have 10 and 5 minutes remaining. The basic manicure is 20 minutes. All manicure supplies labeled in English. Implements, tools are visibly clean. Sanitizes hands. Sanitizes mannequin hand. Shapes free edge from corner to center safely. So make sure that they're holding the sidewalls down when they file, and outside edge to center, and make sure they're not seesawing back and forth. Length and shape of nails is changed in uniform. A quick way to change the length is to have them clip the nails off. Okay, they don't have to, but that helps save them on time as filing, getting the length changed. Okay, but the length and the shape of the nail has to be changed. Fingers are completely immersed in water. Hand dried completely. Cuticle cream or remover applied using infection control guidelines. Properly pushes back cuticle. Cleanses under free edge. Demonstrates proper use of nippers. A lot of times students are moving so quickly that we miss this step, so we'll still be walking around, but if we miss this step, we will ask each student to demonstrate the use of the nippers if we've not seen them, okay? We want to see them do a nice, even motion. If they're going like this, that means they're picking or tearing the cuticle. We want to see a nice, even motion. And a lot of times they have their nippers upside down. So make sure that they have them the right way. Properly buffs nails. Make sure that they're using a buffer that shines the nail, that they're not using a heavy grip buffer. This is a natural nail and it needs to shine. Cuticle oil applied using infection control guidelines, so they can use a cuticle dropper or put it on a Q-tip or orange wood stick. But make sure they're not using the personal one with the brush and touching the cuticle. Massage product applied using infection control guidelines. Palms, fingers, and back of hand massaged. Hand is massaged with continuous contact. Massage product removed from entire nail. Base coat is applied to the entire nail plate. Dark nail polish is applied to the entire nail plate. This is a lot of times people are not polishing the entire nail. So a lot of them are getting marked off for this procedure. Top coat is applied to the entire nail plate. Polish is smooth and even on the nail plate. Skin and cuticle are free from polish. And end of task. Disposes of soil materials. Follows all infection control guidelines. Maintains work area in a safe manner. I do want to address, students have to follow the steps that have been put down on these task lines. A lot of times they're doing it out of order. They have to be doing it in the same order as what's on the task lines. Okay. Do we have any questions regarding the manicure portion of the exam? Miss Franklin down here. She's down here.
There's nothing on the task line about when you want them to remove the cuticle cream or how you want them to remove the cuticle cream.
Let me go back. It says cuticle cream or remover applied using infection control guidelines after the fingers are immersed and the hands are dried completely. That's up to you. I mean, once they apply the cuticle cream, you're going to push that back, so that's going to take some of it off. If you want them to have them immerse, that's fine. If you just want to have them take a paper towel or something and wipe that off, that's fine too. Usually there's not a whole lot remaining after you push back the cuticle.
As I'm using my, as I'm pushing back my cuticle, and I'm going to use my nippers, and I understand the movement all the way around, do you come over and say to the student you want to see the buffing application, or do they just start doing the buffing?
The only task line that we might ask them to demonstrate is the nippers, so they can move right into the buffing. Any other questions regarding the manicure?
If they've used the nippers and then put it in the trash like they're supposed to, and then you come over to them to demonstrate the nippers, what procedure do you want them to follow? Do they get dirty nippers out of the trash?
They could spray them off with their disinfectant. Usually we don't let it get that far.
They shouldn't be disposing of them till an examiner is
To
seeing
the-
their nipper
yeah.
procedure.
Yeah, if you just let them know that we need to see the nippers, so don't dispose of them until we ask, or they know that we've seen them.
Is it still not to use a metal implement to clean under the free edge? Only use an orange wood stick or cotton tipped orange wood stick?
I don't think we've ever differentiated. They can use an orange wood stick. They can use their pusher, metal pusher, the other end of it. It's up to you.
Just to be clear, I didn't see it last year and it's not on here again this year. There's no more beveling of the nail?
Beveling of the nail? No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
For buffing the nail, do you recommend the chamois or a block buffer?
We need to be able to see the nail shine, so a chamois would give you more shine rather than a block buffer. But some of them do shine the nail, so either one. It just cannot be a heavy grip buffer.
And I had a second question. Last year, you required a cotton tip to remove the product under the free edge. Is that still correct?
Yeah.
Is it okay to use a brush to remove the cuticle cream and then clean under the free edge?
Yeah, that's fine.
Still okay to
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming there is no longer 3 strokes to cover the...
We do not require 3 strokes. It's a complete polish. So if it takes you 5 strokes, if it takes you 3, that's okay, but we don't want to see the brush lines in the polish.
For table setup, we can still do towels like you would normally fold a towel for a client.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Any other questions regarding the manicure?
You're saying you can use towels. Are you talking about a hands-down towel? You're not talking about a porous towel?
She meant when you set up your tabletop for your
Right.
manicure, you
Right.
can lay a towel down to lay your mannequin hand on. Is that what you were referring to? Yes.
A cotton towel, you can lay down a porous item. Table.
You can lay down a towel to lay down your mannequin hand, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions regarding the manicure?
Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a quick restroom break. So if everybody could be back in by just a couple minutes after 11, that'd be great.